Solving the Friendemic is a podcast that contains content from friends and not licensed therapists. Content warnings can be found in the description.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to Solving the Friendemic with your hosts, Sabrina,
Kristen,
and Holly.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Big Blue House.
Oh, I used to love that show.
Welcome, come on in. So let's
begin.
I liked their potty dance episode where it was like a potty party and you're like, let's party. But they were talking about using the bathroom.
For my graduation, my parents got me Big Bear in the Big Blue House, the voice actor, to do a cameo congratulating me, and I sobbed.
That's a great present.
Yeah, Big Bear.
Yeah.
At Noel, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the voice actor.
Cool.
All right, let's get into this shit, ladies. You know, the ultimate adult thing, right, is living in a place. And when you live somewhere, you see some trials and tribulations. And it comes in many, many forms. It may be with the people you live with. It may be with the things you live with that you don't even know about. So before we get too deep, why don't we share the horror stories around our homes?
I can go first. I like the idea that it's a horror story.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. We just happened to all have things and critters that we had to fight this week or two.
Environmental challenges.
Yes, environmental challenges. Mine was carpenter bees. I don't know why, but so Philip and I, my husband and I, have moved into our first house. And so we have a deck out back that it looks like the previous owners made, but they didn't stain the deck or do any treatment on the deck. So it is just like nice soft wood that carpenter bees just love. And of course, yesterday I came home and I found sawdust on my patio and got really worried and realized that some bees had decided to make their nice little home in our deck, which again, I get. I'm not mad at the bees for making the home and doing their job. I'm mad at the holes that are now in the side of my deck. And so I am also really afraid of bees. It's not my worst fear, but I don't want to be stung by it at all. And so I don't like to go out and fight wildlife ever, especially if it's something that I think can sting me. I don't think carpenter bees sting very much, but it wouldn't be good if they did. I guess I'll say that. So I have fought these bees, and I have won. I went to the Home Depot by myself, bought a little trap for them, bought stuff to fill the holes, and so my hope is that they get the message already and I don't have to trap anybody or any bees. But I was on a war path yesterday to figure this out. We're talking like hours of like getting myself all hyped. I went and got coffee too because I was like, I gotta have some caffeine to get myself going out there. And I ran out there, put all these things inside the hole, plugged the hole with my husband's help, of course. I needed some. By this point, I needed some.
I need some water.
You like how I started off really strong and I was like, of course, with my husband's support.
Just a little down spiral. That is totally okay.
But all the holes are plugged and I have not seen any carpenter bees today. So I'm winning the war so far.
My battle with insects has not been so big as yours, but I do want to commend you for going into Home Depot by yourself.
Yeah.
Because I will have a panic attack going there. Like, for instance, like I needed to go to Home Depot to get a stacking kit for my laundry.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, didn't even know who to talk to, but like honestly, full down meltdowns. I don't know where anything is. Everyone there is so helpful, but like they all have 20 different solutions and I just need one person to tell me exactly how to do it. But shout out to Home Depot and Lowe's. You guys are great. You're doing a great job. I'm just so incompetent that I can't be helped unless I'm told exactly what I need.
Well, also, and sorry to interrupt, but also you have to know what questions to ask, and that's what makes me worried is, yes, I need carpenter bee stuff, but also I don't know what type of wood they're burrowing into, so I don't know if I need to ask for a certain type of thing to plug the wood. Is it water resistant? I don't know.
My verbiage is, I'm having an issue with this thingy, and this, for some reason, this thingy's not working with this thingy, and that is, they can't help me with that. But going back to the main point, the thing that I've been combating is when we first moved into our new place, I had to go get the mail, and there were fire ants in our mailbox. And so I stuck my hand in there, and I got bit everywhere.
Ouch.
And so I didn't need anything as complex as a carpenter bee trap or plugs or dowels.
Wood
You
dowels.
just need poison.
Yes, so I just needed to get a little raid. And yeah, I'm all set, but that's been my little adventure with being in a new home.
Nice. So, a lot of you know I'm currently unemployed. And so, the problem with that is I have a lot of time on my hands. And I start thinking a lot in my home and thinking, something isn't right here. And one day I'm using the restroom, the privacy of my own home. It's a nice little morning. And I can't, is it my birthday? Yeah, it was my birthday.
It was the day before, though, I thought, right?
No, we
It
went
was-
out on my birthday. My party was the day after.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
So it is my birthday. I'm feeling like the baddest of the bitches. Running late as ever. And I start to hear... And I think...
This is now an ASMR.
By the way, if y'all have seen the Dolly Parton video with
Yes!
with what is her name?
Tina Turner? Is it
Ti-
Tina Turner?
Is it Tina Turner? But anyways, they do a percussion and like sing along song with their acrylic nails, and it's precious. I love that little video, but that's what Sabrina was doing. So
Hashtag obsessed.
Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle.
Yes. Now you have homework. But at the time, I was thinking, man, it's kind of early in the morning for a poltergeist, right? I haven't even had my coffee yet. And I just sit there, and then, of course, I call out because my husband works from home, and I'm like, Chris? He gets in there. He's like, there's nothing there. And then when he turns around... And he has that face of shock and frightenedness, like just being very frightened. And I couldn't tell if he was frightened because he heard it or because he knew I was right.
Dun dun dun.
So, we hear the little birdies and we call, I don't want to out the company. They come and they're like, your vents are all fucked up. I just want you to know we're going to have to replace those. They're going to be special order. And also your insulation's real fucked up. So we're just going to let you know it's going to be about almost $5,000. And then since you don't have that right ready to go, I guess you look young. You can take out a line of credit. So you're going to pay about $7,000 and we'll smile at you. And I thought, no. I will not be doing that. So I did a little Google search, and that's how I found Greensboro Wildlife Pest Control. And, on their website, it's these two men, and it says noises in your attic. And I was like, yes, ma'am, that's me. I hear noises in my attic. And they're smiling with little baby raccoons. And to me, that shows trust. So
Yeah.
I was like, not only do they know what they're doing, they can cuddle with the wildlife. And that's how you know it's time to hire them. So they are super highly recommended by me personally.
Nice.
Very well priced, very kind people, and they clean chimneys. So
They also just look very trustworthy because they look like the two guys from Zaboomafoo.
yes,
The Kratt brothers.
Yes.
100%. That is the vibe. I'm like, I trust you with my wildlife and potentially my life. I don't know. Like, if I was in a car accident, I could see them helping me out of my car.
You call them instead of 911.
I'm going to call Greensboro Pest Control.
Help.
You guys said I could call you 24 hours a day. My life just got wild, so therefore wildlife.
I'm dealing with a stalker. Can you get rid of this pest for me? Thank you all for being on this journey with us. And we know that we're new to this, and obviously you guys can tell that we're new to this too. But we wanted to remind you guys that this podcast is to address one specifically adult friendships and how challenging they can be, but we also want this podcast to be a place where you guys have friends that you can hang out with on a bi-weekly basis.
Yeah, so adult friendships have always been fucking hard. So when you add a global pandemic on top of that, where does that really leave us? And that's kind of where this podcast wants to stand in the gap with you. And the hope here is, yes, you'll hang out with us and you'll have some laughs and you'll enjoy your time with us. But the other part of that is hoping that you'll take what you're learning and apply it to your life. Like maybe you want to watch Kid Nation and have a watch party with some friends, or maybe you want to go out there. And what is something else that we have done?
We have Craigslist. Yeah,
with safety, please. If you're going to Craigslist things, please be safe about it.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. But also too, so part of our podcast is talking about friends and a lot of the themes around friendships and making friends, but also understanding friendship and some of the challenges that come with friendship as well. But we also want to talk about some of the fun things we get to do as friends, because half of, talking about friendship is actually, being friends. Being friends, yes.
And we're all very blessed here to be such good friends with each other. And so, yes, we're doing this podcast as a potential resource for people to enjoy, but also it's just something that we thoroughly enjoy because we thoroughly enjoy the people that we're doing it with.
Not as experts, not as professional licensed people.
Never experts. Well, not never. We may have actual professionals come in, but we ourselves are not professionals. But we hope that through our experiences, you may be able to apply some of what we've learned from our trials and tribulations with friendships, or just celebrate in some of the things that we've had success in and the things that you've also had success in with your friendships. And so going forward, we just wanted to kind of remind everyone where we're going with this train. And, there's just a lot that is encompassed under friendships. And so, we're just going to try and take a little bit more of a dive into this.
So yeah, the three of us were kind of Xena warrior princesses this past week, and we dealt with these really cuckoo for Cocoa Puff situations. But ladies, that's not where our Amazon energy ended. And when I say Amazon energy, I don't mean that Jeff Bezos sponsored business. I'm talking about Wonder Woman, Paradise Island, Amazon's.
Wait, I'm gesturing because did you know that now Amazon trucks, when they back up, they don't beep anymore? They make bird noises.
What?
Which is ridiculous. And now that you were just talking about birds and then you said Amazonian energy, it's the most unnatural sounding bird. It's like a beep still, but it's a bird.
It's a possessed chicken.
Yes.
You know who else does that? Do you guys ever go to Lowe's Foods?
When it quacks at you when you try to pay?
Yeah, they change it for seasonal things. So with the freaking football, what is it called? The Super Bowl. It was like, dun, 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 dun. And I was like, I don't need this kind of energy when I'm buying a Scrub Daddy.
What was they did a bring your own bag campaign, but they made a weird anagram out of it. So it was like
Bab?
Tall Kabalucha or something like. So you'd be paying and it's like Topabalucha, and it's like, what is it trying to say to me?
Lowe's food is unhinged. Okay, my favorite is Thanksgiving. They're like,
okay, y'all. Okay. Hold on. Guys, this is my time to shine, okay? Listeners, I do a really good turkey. Okay. Sabrina, are you swallowing?
I swallowed my water. I'm ready.
Okay, y'all close your eyes.
Okay.
And imagine, and listeners, close your eyes.
This is the second ASMR.
Imagine you're on a farm. Or imagine you're Ben Franklin taking a look at this majestic bird that could have been our nation's national bird. You ready?
I'm ready.
That was uncanny. Is it Thanksgiving? Oh my gosh, because that's giving. Ha, 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 ha. I can't do that, so I'm really impressed.
Thank you. I mean, your gobble
Was possessed.
I was just gonna call it precious, but
Precious.
But let me raise you 3 gobbles.
Please do.
You're welcome.
I feel like I need to be at a family dinner with wine right now, and it's like Thanksgiving.
Olive Garden, where your family.
I'm banned from Olive Garden. You know this.
What?
Yes, you do. You guys know that I got banned from Olive Garden.
No.
You really don't?
No.
You do.
I mean, I'm not banned anymore, but I was banned from the one in Burlington.
Why? If you whatever you want to share, you don't have to
Picture
share.
it.
She says, "No, I am setting this scene."
Picture it. It's New Year's Eve. I had to be maybe 13. My brother, maybe 2. And, that was the spot for my family. So my abuelo, he's going crazy. He's balling out for the New Year's. I'm talking appetizers on appetizers on appetizers. I'm talking like soup of Toscana. I'm talking salad. I'm talking lasagna fried bites.
Hell
all
yeah.
right?
Hell yeah.
It's a lot of food. Then we get to the entrees. I'm not going to order from the kids' menu. I'm 13, damn it. I'm going to get fettuccine Alfredo with the chicken. I'm a refined lady.
The full meal.
The whole meal that you won't be able to eat when you're 13.
No, but I didn't know that. And to set the scene, it's my parents, my grandparents, my younger brother, who's in a high chair because he's 2, myself. Yeah, that's about it. Now, at the time, my Nana was working for the city, and in comes coworkers, and she's like, "Oh my God, please, no one embarrass me. Okay, I know people in this restaurant and in this town. Please, for the love of God, don't embarrass me." And then my grandfather's like, "I eat this, shut up, Edith, please. We all know people, okay? Please, let's get more lasagna bites." So now we've made it through the salads, we've made it through the breadsticks, we've made it through the appetizers, we've made it through the entrees, and he says, "Tonight is a special night." And Nana's like, "Ralph, no one needs dessert at this table. Please. No one. Edith, shut up. Waitress, please, we're going to get 3 cakes. 3 slices. A chocolate, a vanilla, and a tiramisu. You got that? And maybe a lady finger too. I don't know. Surprise us." So, yeah, we get to desserts and everything's going great. I had the meal of my life. I was an adult and I finished that fettuccine Alfredo because I'm a damn grown up.
Hell yeah.
And I'm halfway through my chocolate cake and then it hits me. I gotta go to the bathroom. I've eaten a lot. And I drink a lot too. Not wine because I was 13, but water because I'm an H2 ho then and now. So I get up and I forgot to tell you a key element of this story. Throughout dinner, there's a little boy next to us. And do you know how Olive Garden used to have these long booths? Mm-hmm. So there's a family of 4 sat next to us. And he has a backpack, I guess to keep him occupied. And it has an arsenal of Hot Wheel toy cars, Thomas the Train engines. And throughout the meal, he's pelting me with these. And, the woman at the table, I think she was disciplining him, but it sounded like whispered incantations because it was like, and that's probably how Beelzebub gets spoken to. I understand that when you have a kingdom of hell and you rain hellfire around people around you, you might not get scolded in the same way. And when I'm finally feeling like it's time for the restroom, I've had a lot of water, I've eaten a lot, it's time to empty the old jugs, I stand up, and that's when he releases the ultimate Thomas the Train. I'm talking the size of 5 hands. It's huge. Now I'm making my way downtown towards the bathroom, and he goes whack-a-tha right to the back of my head with the huge Thomas the Train. And I think, God, what do you want me to do in this situation? For I'm a 13-year-old adult. I gently grab his train. I walk it over to him, and I'm going to hit him with some knowledge. Because he's going to be 13.
You were going to say, I'm going to hit him.
I'm going to hit him with some facts. Because one day he's going to be a 13-year-old grown-up.
Who can order fettuccine Alfredo with
Yes.
chicken.
Hell yeah.
And I do. I rain some knowledge on him because I open my mouth and I vomit all over this child. All over their table. All over his parents and his sister. I'm talking appetizers. I'm talking entrees. I'm talking desserts. And what my grandmother says is, I told you. I know people here. I asked you not to embarrass me.
Oh my god.
Eat this. Shut up.
This is just
Please
made me
eat
feel
these.
so much better.
And, I run to the restroom because I've left quite the scene. And I don't think I was ever officially banned from Olive Garden.
How could they ban
I think my
you?
parents
Also,
lied
you
to
were a
me.
minor.
I think my parents just didn't want to go back.
Mortified.
Yeah, they just said that we can never come back here thing.
Yeah, but I was 13, a grown-up, so I took that as I'd committed a crime. So, and I think about this boy to today, and I want to know, did he ever play with Thomas the Trains or Hot Wheels cars again? Or if so, does he think about that moment? Was that a pivotal part of his life? Did I create unresolved trauma that he'll never be able to recover from?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good story.
That's my Russian rat story.
Jesus.
Oh, but I mean, you handled that situation like a boss. And speaking of bosses, we went on such a tangent. But
We did.
but you guys know that's kind of what you're signing up for when
Yeah.
you're hanging out with us. But what did we do this week?
Vomit on children.
We wish. No. No. We went and we threw some axes.
Yes. Yes. So there's been a new fad going on, at least in our neck of the woods in Greensboro area, and I know at least in Charlotte too, of axe throwing, which usually you can find at festivals or, with drinking or things like that. Which of course drink responsibly if you're throwing axes. However, we just went to a place called Battle Axe in Winston-Salem, which was awesome. And it was just a standalone company that's only for throwing axes. And I just thought it would be super, super fun to try it.
It was so cool. Shout out to Evan,
Yeah.
our trainer.
Evan trained us on the axes.
And we all hit the targets, which was good. And I was excited because I've not done a lot of weaponry surrounding activities. And there was a part of me that was terrified that I'd be the one to cut myself or injure myself badly. But none of us did. And that's a real feat in itself, right?
I will say it's a good thing that Holly and I were watching you because we were the ones who were following the rules. We weren't supposed to, you're not supposed to cross the line until both people have thrown, and you would just, automatically go retrieve your axe.
I got better at the end, though. I started using the context clues. At first, I didn't know. And to be fair, listen, Evan, I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but here's my thing. Holly and Kristen got the real tutorial. I got the, hey, so you got it, right?
You watched these other ladies get their lesson, so...
It's no, I was relegated behind a bar with TVs because only 2 people could approach the target. I, in fact, do not got it, Evan. You did great, sweetie. Happy
No,
training.
Really, Evan, you did good because it was your first week. You did such a good job.
We think.
It seemed that way, yes. First day, first week. But no, it was super fun, though. I also have never shot a gun. I've never shot an arrow. thrown an axe, nothing like that. I've never even touched an axe before. I've never chopped wood or anything like that. At least I can't think of anything like that. But I think my zombie choice, my like zombie apocalypse choice for weapon would be an axe now. It was so much fun. Just chucking an axe. It was awesome.
You were really good at it too. Like,
Thank you.
It was like, you know, you see someone just naturally pick up something and it's just like Katniss Everdeen picking up the arrows and just like her pulling off this like amazing stunt, and you just were so natural to it. Whereas for me, I have actually gone shooting. I have actually done archery. For some reason, axe are not my thing. I try to make axe into boomerangs.
Well, they're Mark's things.
What?
That they're Mark's because, you know, he used your ice skate as an axe. So he was too busy having the fun.
Yeah, he's good at more of the whacking and hacking, whereas I'm just more like pew, pew. But yeah, no, I had many axes come back to me recoiling off of the wall, and I think it's one, I'm just too strong.
Yes, you are very strong.
And also, I don't think, like, I think one of the boards was like super used, and so like for it to actually like stay in took a lot more work, whereas the other one we had was like super brand new, so like it took a lot for it to like be moistened and conditioned to be able to like take in the wood, the axe. But it was a lot of fun. If you guys just enjoy like pool or darts or anything of that kind of like nature, it's a lot of fun and it's a great way to try something new. We all want to go back again, and just we want to bring our spouses, we want to bring our friends to do it as well. So it's definitely an activity that is worth trying.
I am curious, Holly, what was it like to get in touch with your inner Daryl Wilson? What's that like?
My inner barbarian. Shout out to Dungeons and Daddies podcast. Amazing podcast. No, it was super fun. Like, I mean, I wish I could say that, like, I felt the fire behind my eyes and I connected with the board and all of my troubles that I've had this month just went away. No, I was just chucking an axe. It was so fun just chucking an axe at a board. Like, the simplicity of it was awesome. Yeah. I should also say, though, that in my, like, classroom office like groups that I've had this week, because I'm elementary school teacher, we did have darts in the room this week, so maybe that was a connection of, hey, I've been practicing throwing. They're not darts, they're like small Velcro balls that you have to throw that'll stick.
You mean you don't have sharp objects in the classroom that children can yield as weaponry and just take care of the old playground duelings?
Yes, I create little dueling circles in my groups and just let them go at it.
Duel.
Honestly, I think you need Beyblades in your classroom and just have different arenas.
Actually, when I was teaching, please don't judge me, but I wanted to teach argumentative writing with Beyblades.
Hey.
And I had this whole lesson plan thought out, and then I got promoted and I no longer was a teacher.
That's fun, though. That's a cool idea. Anytime you can bring something engaging in the classroom, like, you should always do it, like, no matter what. Like, I literally just brought in stuffed animals this last Friday and let the kids write about it, and we did a stretch a sentence activity where you couldn't just write the dog runs. Like, you had to tell me when, where, why, how, like, to make a really complicated sentence. It was so fun. Like, I didn't have any real reason to bring in stuffed animals, but it was something different.
And I probably engaged them on a Friday, because I know when I was in school on a Friday, I was done.
Oh, yeah. Teachers, too. That's why I brought in stuffed animals, because I knew it would be fun. Anyway, but we had a great time with axe throwing, so I'm really excited to, like, do more things like that. I think that sometimes having, like, an activity to do with friends can create a really fun time. You know, you don't always have to have a structured activity like axe throwing, or we should do laser tag at some point.
I will go buck fucking wild in laser. I just want to be very clear. I'm very competitive about laser tag.
This is the one area that I would not be competitive at all. I would lay and just have you guys just shoot me down. So like, honestly, it's the same way if we were to be stranded on an island. I would let you guys eat me first.
No!
No, what the fuck?
Like,
what
just
the heck,
just
Kristen?
shoot me down.
No!
I don't want to fight with you guys. That's not Like, that is, I don't know why they match up for me in my head, but that's it.
See, alternatively, I'm always wearing high heels to build endurance so that I can run. I'm serious. Like, I'm like, if I can survive these blisters and these stilettos, I can take a motherfucker down.
Oh, I could take one down. I just won't. Like,
Oh my God.
Wait, I have a quick side story. I did 2 laser tag birthdays growing up, and it was so fun. Like, such a fun idea for a birthday party. Like, up until I was like 15, 16, like, I loved laser tag. And there was a place in Charlotte where you could go it was only laser tag, and it was such a fun arena that had levels to it. So you could shoot people from above. There were grates that you could shoot people through the floor underneath you. There were mirrors that you could bounce off of. It was awesome. It was such an amazing place. It was called Laser Quest, and it's not open anymore, but I loved it so much. One birthday, I had a few friends that couldn't come, and so my mom and my dad joined. And the whole time, my dad, who was a fireman, almost was a Marine, just such a straightforward type blue collar guy, went ham in the laser quest, having so much fun running through. And his mom was his wing woman, but she didn't understand that, like, you are playing one by one, so, like, you're not on a team. It wasn't team based. Everybody had to fight for their own. You could be on teams, but my mom kept shooting my dad the entire time. She was standing behind him because she didn't realize that the gun was going off the whole time, and so she just kept shooting my dad. And then she ended up beating my dad out for points by the end of it. While my dad is just like running through like tactical missions, like jumping around corners. Yeah, taking out like 15-year-olds and then the 8-year-olds that were also in there from another birthday party. Like, the whole time my mom was shooting him. So fun. I hope they bring back laser tag. It's so fun. But anyway, so we thought it would be fun to do something that was more structured, more like, hey, this is what we're doing for a hangout. And it was a really, really good time. So it brings us into wanting to talk about, like, obviously we couldn't have gone axe throwing about a year ago or 2 years ago, not only because it wasn't really a fad that had gotten started yet, but the pandemic changed a lot of things about what friend hangouts look like. I know for me, before the pandemic, we were always going over to friends' houses and stuff, or friends' apartments. We were going to movies all the time. We would go eat dinner out. Like, a lot of our hangouts were going out places, getting ice cream or things like that, going to markets or festivals. And then the pandemic kind of changed that. So another thing we wanted to talk about today was just like how the pandemic changed a lot of our friend hangouts. And so we had a great time with throwing axes, but we also know that getting out and doing stuff like that is a little harder now because we haven't had as much practice getting out and hanging out in places like that as much.
And also there's a part of me that misses that period of time that you could really strategically schedule things and be in your house. It's a lot. It's weird because on some level you're using spoons because virtually sometimes I can feel like that's more taxing than being in person. But at the same time, there's no travel time to get to or from somewhere. There's no prep because if you're the one hosting it, you've got to have food. You have to got to make sure your house doesn't look like 20 people took a crap in it. Like, it's a lot. And when it's a Zoom platform, everybody's kind of just responsible for themselves. And that feels nice.
Yeah. And that's not to say that now that the pandemic is easing off, that we can't do that anymore, that is not a valid friendship hangout. It's just during the pandemic, we had to really work around a lot of obstacles in order to ensure that we were still hanging out with the people that we're close to. Because of the pandemic, it kind of weeded out a lot of different kinds of friends, you know? There's a lot of things that were addressed that we had to take into account when being with our friends. For instance, I know and I can probably say this for everyone, we're all much more extroverted. And so being and thriving off of other people was just not the same. We couldn't do that and interact with people the way that we were accustomed to. And so we were all just worn out and tired dealing with a lot of stuff on our own, whether it was unemployment, whether it was having to completely relearn or do something in a completely different way in order to maintain what kind of life you were used to. I know, Holly, you had to completely change your learning platform to being online. And then for you had to do that as well.
Yeah, I was teaching during the pandemic, and it was no bueno.
And then, for myself working at the hospital, I know I was just fatigued with working directly with the pandemic. And so, we all had to show up and be there for each other. And we were all dealing with our own issues, but I'm just very glad that we were able to be with each other through that. And it would be such a different thing if we hadn't.
And I think during the pandemic, it was so hard because we were all figuring out what's happening and who are we now, right? Because when so much of your life is built up about external factors around you and all of those get eliminated within days' time, that's a lot of soul searching that just gets started.
Yeah.
And I even feel since the pandemic, I'm more fatigued than ever. And sometimes I wonder, is that the long COVID effects of having COVID? Or is everybody, whether or not they got it, just exhausted with keeping up with the demands of the world opening back up? And then how do you fit in friendship into that? When you're already kind of burnt out and now we're navigating. So we navigated into a virtual plane. Now we're quickly pulling out of that and we're having sprinkles of that for convenience. Where does friendship even lie in that with the energy? And how do we go back to that? And do we want to?
Yeah, I mean, I know for me, my husband and I are both very extroverted. Like, we really love being around people and doing things with people. And so we moved into, virtual hangouts, Zoom hangouts, playing Jackbox games online, playing Animal Crossing. I played so much Animal Crossing, which was such a lovely just thing to do. And then when we moved into virtual teaching, at least in March 2020 and into April 2020, a lot of kids weren't on. Like, it wasn't something that I saw every day. Like, I may not see kids every day anymore. And I had to really think about, like, oh my gosh, like, how am I teaching? I'm not really teaching. I'm working on building online assignments that no one's doing. But at the same time, they have a lot of things going on and their family has a lot of things going on. And our school made sure to be understanding of that. Like, we were never going to take away points or fail someone just because the pandemic started, so that, and we're elementary school. I mean, they rely on their parents and their adults in the house to help them, so if the adults can't, not their fault that they can't get on. But I had to really think about, like, what did my life look like? And then I got into crocheting and I got into really loving doing that. And that took up a lot of my time, of course, along with hanging out with people online and seeing people. And then it switched back to, oh, now we're going back in person a year later. And I have all these things that I started and really enjoyed, but trying to figure out how to balance, like, okay, now we're seeing people in person. Okay, we're doing that. That's awesome. Now I'm teaching in person. That's 9 to 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours of my day, depending on the week or depending on the day. And I want to do really well with that too, because there's so many learning gaps. So I want to put extra time into that. That's a huge motivation of mine. But then on top of that, where do friends lie in that? Where does seeing family lie into that? You can't, work all day, all the time, because you're going to have burnout. But I also have this side business that I really want to put time into as well. But me crocheting doesn't help a kid learn how to read. It's like there's all these things that get all tied in together so that you have to figure out how do you want to use your time. And then, of course, I can't sit at home all day or only work and only crochet, because that's not going to make my mental health improve. Because for me personally, seeing people and talking to people and connecting with people helps me feel less lonely, helps me feel excited. All those anxieties tend to, subside when I'm around people, at least in a healthy way. And so I had to figure out, okay, where do friends lie into this? And so, there were some friends that during the pandemic kind of faded away. And it's just one of those things that, like, I hate it and it happens. And the first thing I'm going to say is, if you're listening to this, it's probably not you. No, it's probably not you. So please, if there is someone listening and you're like, hey, I'd like to talk to them, I want to say hi to them. Yeah, send us a message. We're not talking about anybody in particular. It's just, there were things that happened over the pandemic that it was really hard to, as Sabrina said, use those spoons. Like, you only are allotted so many spoons during the day or so many, pockets of energy. And after building a ton of online things, feeling like you're not seeing anybody, crocheting for a while, which was my thing, or playing online or reading, at the end of the day, like, it was hard to reach out and keep things going that I wasn't sure I really wanted anymore.
And something I don't feel like we speak about enough is the pandemic was traumatic. It was trauma, but because we all experienced it, now it's this baseline experience that we're all just navigating. I don't feel that we hold enough space to really say we all might be having a little bit of PTSD from some of the stuff that we've gone through. I mean, to quickly pivot into being home, not being able to leave your house, and just having to pick up all the pieces, to now it's the complete opposite. That's really hard changes back to back, and we're all just supposed to act like nothing happened. And that's without even adding in people who have lost people from this horrific disease, or just in general, just the emotions behind the lockdown or going back to quote unquote real life. It's somewhere in between there lies the gray. It's not black and white. It's the gray of existence. It's the gray of humanity. And I just feel like at some point we have to say that shit was really hard, and it's still hard, and we can't be everything for everyone. Damn, I can't even be myself. I can't even be enough for me sometimes, right? So how the hell am I going to be enough for everybody? And I think when we accept that piece and we realize we don't have to have the responsibility of being everything for everyone, but just being present, I think that distinction pivots into a more positive direction of friendship.
Yeah. And you don't have to be everything for everyone. And with the pandemic specifically, I know we all probably felt like we were being distanced, one, by physical distance, but also I feel like there were times that we started realizing that because of the physical distance, we started realizing that there were people and friends that we had that we weren't as close to as we thought we were. And that's okay. That happens, and it's a very normal thing. People go in different directions in their lives, and we grow in different ways. And that's, I think, what I like to call that is like realizing that there are friends of convenience and there are friends who are growing away from you, but you also have friends who grow with you. And it's okay for people to grow in different directions. Sunflowers, they grow towards the sun. And for us, we all might have different suns that are pulling us in different directions. And it's just figuring out who those people are. And it's okay. It's healthy to address who those people are. Sometimes we feel like we have to make something forcefully work. Like, I know in my life, I have a lot of friends, or I've had a lot of friends who I will make space for, and my reasoning for them still being in my life, even though we're in very different directions, is, well, I've been friends with them for so long. Like, that might not be the only reason that they should be in my life. Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, I think the pandemic has weeded out a lot of people who, one, may not have been the healthiest for me in my life and in my passage of growing. Mm-hmm. Whereas, and I hope those friends that I did have, I hope that they're also experiencing that same realization that they're wanting other people in their lives that help them grow that the way they want to grow. There's no ill will on anyone. It's just realizing that we're kind of in a fork. you know? We're just growing in different directions.
And to be clear, we're not advocating for you to take a burn book and start unfriending a bunch of people or being like, oh, you know what? I am only friends with this person because we've known each other a very long time. What we're hoping is to give you tools that if you do experience this kind of friendship disintegration, yes, it's important to look inward and see what can be done differently next time. But it's also just as important to honor the space that sometimes people just grow apart, and that's natural and it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some friends that I've kept in touch with since I was in elementary school and middle school, even since I was about 2 months old. You know, I've had friends that I've kept for a really long time. I have newer friends that I'm really excited that I get to spend time with, you know, but I'm not the same person that I was in elementary school. And I'm not the same person that I was in middle school. You know, there are some that you grow up with and, hey, this is great that we get to be friends, and hey, we can still be friends as adults, but sometimes things just happen where, you know, my energy can't go to everything. My energy can't go to my family, the people that I'm really close friends with, you know, and then 15 other things and then 15 other people. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, you've got to be able to find a balance in between, and you've got to be able to tell yourself that it's okay to kind of step back. You know, you don't, like you said, you don't have to be everything to everyone. You can still be friends with someone on social media and, you know, like and comment every once in a while to say hi. Send them a message every couple times during a year or something. Like, it doesn't have to be ill will, but it also does, you shouldn't beat yourself up over allowing a friend to kind of drift apart. And we're not also talking about friend breakups either. We're just talking about when those friends of convenience, you know, show themselves as friends of convenience, you know. Okay, well, we were friends at work, and hey, we were such close friends at work. It was so fun to see you every single day, you know, and now you've gotten a new job. Or, hey, during the pandemic, we ended up having to go virtual, and I don't talk to you as much. Doesn't mean that if I see you at, you know, Harris Teeter, I'm going to be mean to you. Like, I'm going to say hi and be so excited to see you. And then if we ever end up seeing each other again, I'll be happy to do that too. But it doesn't have to be working every single day to keep every single person in your life. You will exhaust yourself. You will burn out. You have to take like a couple steps back. And I'm saying this for myself too, because I am so hard on myself with things like this. But knowing when to step back and enjoy the people that you do want to put a lot of time into and not sweating some of the friends of convenience.
And sometimes you may come back together.
Yeah.
When you're in a different season of life or they're in a different season of life, and you catch up and you have a few more seasons together, and then maybe you take some time apart again. We hope to just normalize for you that this is something that happens in everyone's lives. And sometimes change can actually impact even stronger friendship. I know for me in my previous position, my director, she's like my best friend. And of course, there was a little part of me that was terrified when I left my job. I was like, oh, she's not going to want to talk to me anymore because I don't work there anymore. And a lot of the time that we'd hang out is at work, even though we would do some stuff outside of work. But I mean, we've continued to hang out, and I still consider her to be one of my closest friends. So change doesn't always mean negative impact. There's going to be consequence to every decision, whether it's negative or positive. But all you can do is stay true to yourself and take peace in the fact that the only consistent thing in life is going to be change, as we've said before. And so don't feel weird if a convenience friendship fizzles out. Just know more friendships are coming, but you have to put yourself out there. And ultimately, that's what we're encouraging you to do. That's hard to hit someone up and say, hey, do you want to go throw some axes or watch Kid Nation? But when you do those things and you open yourself up, good shit can happen. But if you go on Craigslist, read the rules, okay?
Also, if you play Freddy Fish with your friends, just make sure that you do press all the buttons. Let them explore. Don't be like me. Also, just make sure you're like good with your mouse and you don't like accidentally close.
Or play it on the Switch, because you can save it on the Switch.
Okay, that's actually really good to know.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
What the hell, Steam? And if you can save it on Steam, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, Yeah.
And I was gonna say, and make sure that you call the Crap Brothers when you have a car accident. I'm just kidding. Call 911.
Oh my God! Please call 911. Holly, because of this, we're gonna be in a freaking courtroom, and they're gonna be like, Holly Lale told me that I needed to call. Yeah, the Crap Brothers actually called this the Puma Poos.
My name is not Holly Lale anymore, so you're right. That can be totally thrown out at me in court of law.
I still haven't changed my last name.
Really?
I'm scared to.
It takes a long time. That's
yeah.
Okay, though. Just make an appointment. Yeah, once you do it, though, I haven't changed my name on my Bank of America card. That's the last thing for some strange reason I haven't done.
I keep trying to decide if I want to go full throne, take his last name, or if I want to hyphenate it. Mm-hmm. But if I do that, my initials will be Snot.
That means you should totally do it.
Oh my God. See, all of my comedian friends are like, how could you not fucking do it? How could you not do it? Do you know how funny that is? You have instant comedy gold and you want to just sneer at it? And I'm like, yeah, because it would be my initials. Like, what monograms am I going to go around with? Oh, look at her. It's Miss Snot. Achoo.
Need a tissue?
Because I got issues on issues. Speaking of issues, I know I need to cancel my subscription to Issues, but a subscription that I'd like to stay plugged into is, what's our prescription of the week, ladies?
Oh, let's see. Let's get the pharmacist out.
Paging Dr. Sheldon.
And you said Dr. Sheldon. Look at that. I say your idea of the week is if you hear yourself saying, that's crazy, then you should do it, as long as it doesn't hurt you or others. If you're thinking about something to do, thinking about something to try, if you're really getting interested in a new thing or whatever, and you think, that's kind of crazy, why would I do that? That means you should try it. You should totally try it. Just see what happens. Because I've never been axe throwing. I've never done anything like that. But, hey, I asked about it and thought could be fun.
Heck yeah.
But again, if it's harmful to you or others, don't do it.
How about you, Dr. Buck?
So for myself, I would like all of us to, one, look at our friendships that we've had, maybe the ones that have fizzled, and just give them a moment of appreciation because they were our friends and they carried us through a lot of times where we may have needed them. And even though they may not be a part of our our current story, they played a big part in who we are. And so just a moment of appreciation, a moment of gratitude, and just a little bit of maybe self-reflectiveness, just thinking about how maybe going forward in the friendships, what are the things that you need? Where are you going in your life? And who are the people that you're growing with? So that's my little prescription. Dr. Sabrina.
I think my advice would be, don't be afraid to initiate plans, because there are so many times that we'll wait because it just feels uncomfortable, or we're like, well, they think I'm weird if I suggest such and such thing. Why not? The worst that they can say is no. And if people do tell you no, go by yourself. Do it anyway. There are plenty of times that I've gone to the movies alone or gone out to eat by myself, not in a sad way, but in a, I deserve to do things that bring me joy, whether or not it's on other people's timetables. So it's okay to have some self-love, and it's okay to go out there and do the damn thing.
Yes.
Yes?
Before we do a call off, I'd like to shout out Harrison.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the savior of the day. We have had a great day of running around, but we were anticipating recording like 3 or 4 hours ago, and then our recording equipment that we had just recently bought didn't work. And so the amazing Harrison Prince, who is going to be starting a new podcast called Rough Boys here with my husband, Philip. Oh my gosh, Harrison, thank you, because we were able to record our episode today because of you coming in the clutch, doing a great job as homeowners too. I hope that you got something from our things in the beginning.
Though their house is freaking gorgeous. Tori was so nice, and Jorge was super cool.
We love you, Jorge.
Jorge's great.
So like just 10 out of 10 all around, new besties. They're going to be like, oh my God, it's that bitch again. But I'm looking forward to game night in your super cool labyrinth house.
Me too. I promise I will tone it down.
I will not tone it down, but I'll bring a snack. You've been listening to Solving the Friendemic with Sabrina,
Kristen,
And Holly.
see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
hasta la vista, baby.
Welcome to the outtake, Solving the Friendemic. I'm so sorry, I just farted. And it smells really bad.
Now you've done it. All of us have done it now. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I'm horrified. I think I might be lactose intolerant. Anyway, I like your advice.
It also is raining outside, which I have to state because if I don't, the audio might sound weird. It just immediately started raining. Like,
God has opened up the skies.
yep.
Well, we got a weather alert saying there's a severe thunderstorm until 9 p.m. now.
Here we go, guys.
Free car wash.
Welcome to our 8-hour podcast recording.
Can I pee?
Yeah.
No.
We also could just wait 1 second and we'll end it back in if you want to. Does it really have to pee?
She has to pee. Holly has to pee. Holly has to pee. She said, "Can you wait for me? 'Cause I have to pee." Take it away, Kristen.
I'm just constantly in awe.
What?
I mean, y'all, you have the best, on the fly mind.
I'm
On the
dying.
go. Just so witty. Just constantly able to produce lyrics and words.
But it's just
That's-
rhyming. That's the thing for me. That is my strength. But other than that, I'm like, what's left? You know? Because right now, there's a rap in my head that I'm like, Holly's got urination and it's such an inspiration. She's ready to let you know her thoughts. But she said, hold up. I gotta pop a squat.
Oh my God.
I need to let my urinary glands free. Because can you please wait for me? I have to pee double E. Or Billie Eilish style, Holly had to pee. It's so right with me. We were recording and Holly was reporting that she had to pee. We've been singing the whole time.
I'm impressed.
Welcome to Tinkletown. We all have a round. Go pee. Everyone pees.
Is this from Urinetown?
Yeah.
I've never watched it. That was a guess.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start back over where talking
You have to sing about peeing.
You have to have a song.
Yeah, we all sang about you pissing.
Boys pee in a urinal. In British, it's called a urinal. I like to pee when I have to. The end.
This is the episode that's going to get us canceled.